Hello everybody, I'm Kate and you are tuned into the Creative Women's League. Being a creative entrepreneur can be incredibly intimidating. Don't worry, the CWL has your back. On a weekly basis, we are bringing you motivation, inspiration, know-how, and of course, we have a giant community full of badass creative Wonder Women. Today is Mindful Monday, which means we're bringing you some pointers on getting in a good mindset and motivating that ass. Because I know we all need it from time to time. Now, whether you are watching this on YouTube or listening via Podbean or iTunes, hello and thank you. I am so excited to have you here. I am completely new to the realm of videos, so I'm happy to hear you guys are enjoying them because I'm still a little nervous. So of course, subscribe. Wherever you are watching this, listening to this, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe on YouTube. I want to make sure you are getting the latest to help your creative business and your creative soul flourish. So now that I'm officially a YouTube star, I wanted to do my first call out video. What? Yes. Who doesn't want to do a call out video? You know what we're about at the CWL. We are all about calling out bitches. That's right. I'm going to call out a woman today. This person is straight up nasty. And I understand that it comes from all the insecurities and all the pent up fear, but I don't give a crap. I'm calling her out right now. Did that make you a little nervous? I hope it did. I hope it made you really nervous. I absolutely am calling somebody out. I am calling out me. She is such a bitch. Now, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the me that is shrunk down so small. And she's in the tiniest little place in the back of my head. And anytime I go to do something awesome or great, she is there with a little dose of reality. And if you ask me, a big effing lie. That's right. We are all calling out our inner mean girls today. I hope you do it too. She is insecure. She is a freaking fraidy cat. And she has no place in my head anymore. I am so sick of her crap. Like, aren't you so sick of her crap? I'm so sick of her crap. First things first, I want you to know that it is totally normal to have somebody trash talking you in your head. But if you feel like this might be a little more severe than what I am talking about, there is no shame in the game of getting help. At one point, my trash talking brain was so mean to me, I made sure to go see a therapist. You will not believe how cathartic it is to get out all those little shitty call-out moments that she's pulling in your head. Once you say these fears out loud, you realize how stupid they sound, how irrational they really are. When you tell a stranger that you're terrified for X, Y, and Z, and their face goes, yeah, that's when you know you're just dealing with some deep-seated BS. I've discovered a few ways that I am able to calm that mean-ass woman in my head. Get her to sit her butt down and get her to take a back seat to all the really cool things I'm doing. So first things first, you gotta have a support system. You have to. Boyfriends, girlfriends, best friends, parents, siblings, a guy on the bus who's always just real nice to you and listens to your crap. You need a person who knows how to be unconditionally supportive when the voice gets really mean. Sometimes this person can fill multiple roles. Sometimes they can be somebody you bounce ideas off of and they tell you when the idea for cat sweaters that sing jingle bells is a really bad idea. It's not, by the way. And then they can jump into the role of unconditionally supportive when you really need them to. This person needs to be somebody who you can come to and tell them the extremely ridiculous things your subconscious is telling you. They aren't going to hold it against you. They aren't going to be unkind to you. They are just going to build you up. I am so very fortunate to have about 3 or 4 people in my life who I can turn to in this moment, and I can say, hey, when I think about doing this, I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna hate me and the world's gonna end. My mom coddles me. My boyfriend gets very stern, quiet. thinks about the proper thing to say next, and my best friend laughs in my face. It just depends on what you need at that moment. Sometimes the laughing in my face and saying, girl, really? Let's work through this in a rational way. Why is this happening? That's exactly what I need. Sometimes I just need to be coddled. It's okay. You're gonna do great. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. It just depends on what you need in the moment. But one of my major tips on dealing with it is getting it out. You have to tell somebody. You gotta let people know those things inside your brain. Getting them out, putting a voice to them, will make you realize, more often than not, how ridiculous it is. It is a subconscious fear, and the bigger the leap you're taking, the meaner and usually weirder the voice will get. I was afraid of starting a podcast because I thought my mom would be embarrassed. Listen, I have done such weird and bizarre things in my life. I was such a rebellious teenager. Starting a podcast would be the least of my mom's worries. But the more excited you are about something, the more afraid you are of something, the more outside your comfort zone it is, your inner voice is going to go kicking and screaming. And sometimes it'll say real weird things, but get them out. Sometimes you might have to work through the irrational thoughts on your own. You know, when it hits at 4 a.m. and you really can't call your best friend at 4 a.m. again because you wasted all those get out of jail free cards when you were 22 and dating a dirtbag. Sorry, Lisa. There's going to be a point where you got to work through it by yourself. How I do this, I will go back through all the times where I was truly afraid. Worried about starting something new. I thought I would never be able to pick up this new skill, get over this big hurdle. Write them down if you have to. And then you'll realize how you got through all of them. All of them. To my knowledge, none of those things you've written down has yet sent the world into collapse. And for the vast majority of us, it didn't even cause our world to collapse. So if you have examples of when you were really afraid of something and you got a great benefit from it once you moved through it, once you dominated the game, you got to get those out there. You have to see them on paper. It will help so much. There is a flip side to this because I know what some of you are thinking. Your subconscious thoughts have already told you, what about the times where I tried something new and I did fail big? Well, I'm sure that has happened to some of you. I'm really sorry if trying something new ended up with real consequences for you, but that didn't happen every time, right? And look at you. You're watching this video. You're clearly starting a new creative venture. You've gotten back on your feet. You're kicking so much ass. And if you don't write that down right now and show how even in the face of adversity, you bounce the F back, well, then your subconscious voice is going to win, and what are you even doing here? So, it's my first call-out video, and I just really wanted to say that you're a bitch, and I don't want to hear from you anymore, and don't go waking me up in the middle of the night. Don't creep into my thoughts while I'm brushing my teeth. Don't wait until the excitement is past on a new venture, and then start telling me all your crappy crap. Kate, I think if we all took an oath to stop listening to the inner mean girl and start listening to our inner cheerleader, start listening to the external cheerleaders, we'd all be a lot happier. Is it going to happen all the time? No. I don't know anybody who doesn't have a mean girl in their head, but I know a lot of people who don't listen to her. I know a lot of people who hear her and then quickly shut her up. Just don't want to hear it. And the coolest people I know hear her, take in everything she has to say, and then say, yeah, watch me. That's some high-level badassery right there. You might not have somebody in your inner circle who's all that sympathetic to your creative ventures. Unfortunately, it happens to a lot of us. But you do have a community of badass creative women who are like not just okay with cheering you on, but are excited and ready for the opportunity to cheer you on. How freaking cool is that? And yeah, I did just poke myself in the eye. It's embarrassing. Get over to the Facebook group, Creative Women's League on Facebook. Get into our Instagram and just watch and see. You have a whole community here that is ready to prove your inner critic wrong. We are all ready to fight that bitch off. Thank you so much for tuning in to our latest Mindful Monday. Of course, we'll be back on Wednesday with an interview, shooting some more of that inspiration at you. In the meantime, subscribe here, wherever it is you're listening to this, YouTube, iTunes, Podbean, and get over to our Instagram at Creative Women's League to get in on the discussion. Thank you so much. Mwah. See you Wednesday.